any experiences with that one.
Right.
Welcome back to
We got
After School
friends coming
Shenanigans,
here.
the
All right, when I
podcast
first
where we
started
talk
this,
about all the things we
I had
experience in our
parents
after
coming
school
here saying,
program.
my kids
I'm
in
Jesse
advanced classes
Vasquez.
at
You can find me on
school,
Instagram
right?
under
So I'm thinking, okay, cool. A third grader that's coming here said
JM_Vasquez,
they're
where I
in
post
advanced
about the books
classes.
I'm reading as well
I'm
as my
giving
current
the
projects.
test
As
comparable
usual, I'm
for
joined
the
by the man, the myth,
third
the
grader,
legend.
right? Give
It's
them the test.
me, Desmond Reeves,
Did not
and
do
you can
well,
find me on
right?
Instagram
So it's
on
like, what is
Kumon,
advanced
Merida
classes?
Northeast.
For like the next couple months, I'm like,
And
this person
let's
keeps
get
telling me advanced
going.
classes. None of these kids are advanced. They're like remedial, right? So now when they say that, I'm just like, okay, that means nothing, right? You need to set the better expectation of your kid. You're here for a reason. Your kid needs help. So let us help your kid. Stop telling me your kid's smart. And like you had that one with the girl that spoke like
4 different languages and
Yeah.
dreamed in 2 other ones.
that's
Oh
what
my
the parents
God.
told us.
Wait, what?
Yes. Go ahead. Tell us.
So what was it? She spoke French and English, but then she dreamed in Spanish or something?
Mhm.
It was something wild like that. I'll give it to her. All love languages, I suppose.
Sorry,
But
that is
no, I'm so
very
serious though,
entertaining.
and that's what Mom told me. She's like, yeah, so she dreams in one language and speaks 2 or 3 others, and I'm like, but can she do math?
Right.
Trying
And how
to.
do you know she dreams in the language?
That's my question. How does she know that?
She wakes up and tells her, I guess. Like,
in Spanish. She's in
And,
the dream
but
with
does she
her.
speak to her in Spanish? No, right? She just
Yeah.
says, "Mom, my dream was in Spanish." Okay, I have a question for y'all though.
Mhm.
So these parents with their kids in school, they are advanced. So where's the disconnect?
It's probably the word advanced. For me, the word advanced, thinking you're ahead of where you are, right? Because if your kid's advanced, why are you coming here? So that's the disconnect. It's like school, what school is basing advance on is not what we base advance on.
I
Right?
think it's expectations versus reality.
Right. So that's where the disconnect comes in.
So do y'all think it's more of the school is sending parents the wrong message to make them think that?
There could be some of that because we've had kids come in with their parents saying, "Oh, well, they said they're doing good, and at the end of the year, they're talking about holding them back all of a sudden, like the tone changes."
Mhm.
So I've seen that, but I also think there's some parents that are just lying to our
Just a
face
little delusional.
Right.
a little bit.
And they don't want. And one of the things that I realize is that y'all talk about it all the time. Like parents like social connections.
Yes.
Right? So they might have friends whose kids are truthfully advanced, right? So, but that disconnect is that's probably what they telling their friends, and you know what I'm saying? Like that's what the discussion is. So they probably really are coming to y'all because they're trying to get to that advancement.
But I've had
It's the fact that they don't communicate that.
communicate, and they always said that my kids is in advanced classes at school, right?
And is
and
is that the point where y'all just talk about these are 2 separate things?
2 separate. No, I don't even bring it up.
Yeah, we don't address it to them. We just
Okay.
We just
Get 'em there.
understand that what they consider advanced is not what we consider advanced here.
Okay,
We got
okay.
kids here that could do stuff 1, 2, even
So
3.
how do y'all combat that with the parents then?
So that's a good question. Right?
that is. I'm not gonna lie, that stumped me just now.
So for me, it's letting them know how we're going to show them why they're not where they think they are, right? Because even the walk-in I had yesterday, so I'm like, hey, why are you bringing your kid in? He's like, oh no, he's doing good at school. I'm like, then why are you here, right? So it's about getting them to grade level and showing them what advanced look like, right? That's how I try to combat it. It's just telling them being able to do these worksheets in this amount of time with this amount of accuracy is what we consider advanced.
I got you.
So I don't know if that makes sense.
We politely tell them they're celebrating mediocrity, and then we don't do that here without saying it though.
Right.
It's like, hey, look, you took the test. I get you're saying you're advanced, and they did good, but like you see how like there's finger counting, or see how they wrote 2s and stuff and carried their math. We do not consider that advanced. Like this is what it looks like. 'Cause again, like we have students that have like in like middle school going into high school, like, oh, we finished all of reading. We're over halfway through math.
Right.
There's some kids that are astounding here, and not even to hold everyone to that standard, but we know what real advancement looks like when like you look at, oh my God, no, this kid is special.
But you even said that when we had on Wednesday's class, we had the A girl with.
Oh yeah.
And you're like we're awesome.
But yeah, no, I have to, because sometimes you got to pat yourself on the back a little bit.
That's okay.
When you see a first grader that's working on division, or I'm sorry, a second grader.
Joy from.
Oh, that's where the passion is, because it's like that's what we can do, and that's what I like to do.
And then you see the light bulb start coming on in their eyes. You're like, you're in the first grade doing this. And then they like to come in and tell us how, their friends don't know how to do it. Like
They're running laps.
Yeah,
they're running laps
around the kids, right? But yeah, I don't know how we combat that. I think the schools are really doing them a disservice.
Oh, definitely,
to be honest with you,
definitely.
right? Because I'm finding out that what they say advanced classes are at school are a way to separate kids, right? Those advanced classes, those kids just get to go get first pick to go on field trips, get this, get little advantages. That has nothing to do with
or special trips the other kids don't even get, or special trips the other kids don't even get,
right? So it has nothing to do with, and then all these parents want to get their kids into advanced classes to say their kids are in these advanced classes, but your kids still finger counts and can't read properly, but you want to tell me your kids advanced, right? And then want to doubt when we say this is how we're going to get them where they need to be
truly advanced.
To be truly advanced, right? Well, I mean, again, we say this in every episode. We drink the Kool-Aid. So
those families that do stick it out, they see it.
Oh, no, definitely.
And that's what we talked about last episode too. Is like we can tell the difference between a kid that's going to succeed and a kid that's not going to.
What y'all look at on that one? Like, what is that? If a parent pulls them out, like, what's that?
No, it's a consistency, right? The kids that succeed here, their homework always comes back. They
have the structure at home.
They don't miss class, right? They don't miss classes. If they're missing classes, the parents will let us know, hey, little Johnny's not coming today. What can we do, right?
Yeah.
Those kids succeed. You have the rare ones that like they just come to class and they just get it, and we give them the test and we're like, he's probably gonna bomb this test, and then we get the test going, no, that didn't turn out the way we thought. It was gonna turn out like, oh wait a minute, why is he so high? He ain't doing no homework up to this point, right? And those are rare kids, right?
Yeah. And
then you got the other ones that end up being stuck in certain levels forever because they don't do homework, they barely come to class, and that's the difference. That's how we tell the difference between the kids that succeed. So, what was the next topic?
As far as crazy parent requests?
Yeah.
This one is, I'm ready for this.
Oh, yeah, no, I was saying that.
Start,
no, I want to know, like, what kind of requests do y'all get?
So I've been requested to completely just disregard where a child should start. Like, oh, but he can do this. Let's start him a couple chapters ahead. His number sense is trash, but I really want him to be working on addition and subtraction, please. Right. That's where he belongs. I'm like, sir, he's writing his fours backwards.
Right.
I don't think he's ready to be doing double-digit subtraction. I don't think we're there yet. We can get there, but we're not there yet.
And it's because they got and I think you and I have talked about it before, but it's almost like, but this is what they're doing in school, right? So that's what the priority is for them, but not realizing your child is truthfully being left behind. And this is how we can get them caught up.
Well, I feel like there's a misunderstanding of what we do here. And that's why I've talked with Desmond about a million times where it's like, hey, I wish there was a way to get the word out as far as like, if this was our own and like the name on the board didn't belong, like we could talk more, but I feel like people don't as a whole understand what we do, but everyone does. This is meant for the younger kids. This is meant for people to take this and run with. This isn't meant for when you're 14 and you're like, oh no, that final's coming up.
No, that's not what this is for.
That's why we say the young kids are the bread and butter, right?
They are. And that was one of my strategies. I was just talking to him about this beginning of this week. But it's like, hey, if y'all don't understand like the mission statement and what we're here to do, y'all are completely gonna not get what you want out of this. And then you're looking at us like we did something wrong. It's like, no, you tried to use a Phillips when you needed a flathead. I'm sorry. What do you think was gonna happen?
So I had the person that walked in yesterday. They try to they asked us about the other place, right? They're like, what's the difference? I'm just like, well, here's the difference. Your kid's in 5th grade. He's probably doing fractions, right? You go to the other place. That's what we talked in the last episode about different tutoring, right?
Yeah.
You go to the other place. They're just going to help you with fractions, right? They're not going to help you. You struggle with fractions, your multiplication and division is probably way off because you can't do 2 over 4. You just can't see it as a half, right? So you got requests like that trying to compare us to, trying to fit what we do into what they want, right? You got the big eye kid that you sat with when you first, a couple months ago, right? That was lying about his age because he's what, 7?
Allegedly
7. And there's a kid sitting next to him that we asked, hey, how old are you? And he's like, I'm 7. They're like, that's a 7-year-old.
Yeah, the kid's 2 feet taller than him. He's like 2 feet taller
than him, right? The kid knows to walk in and grab his folder and go sit down. This kid, after 2 years, is still staring at us. Comes to the door and just stares there and stands there. And like, hey, get your folder.
This is one of those parents that's delusional because if I'm not mistaken, they also have some crazy requests.
That's what I'm.
Yeah, no, that's the one of the request.
Okay.
That's one.
He's stuck on. He keeps coming here every class asking us, hey, can you retest them for math? I want him to start. Can you just start with subtraction? Sir, he can't add. He does. His number sense is trash, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
And he keeps every class. He comes in here and says, "Can you start him at subtraction?" No. When I'm not about to go put in a report to anybody that a kid started, now he's doing subtraction. There's no test in between.
No.
There's nothing in between.
And that's what I explained to him. I said, sir, I'm like, at that point, like that, I have to have answers and records of everything.
Mhm.
So at that point, you're asking me to do that. You're asking me to either fake documents or to straight up be dumb and not even have anything to support
Right.
the evidence.
Right.
And he's like, no, that's not what I'm asking you to do. I'm like, that is exactly what you're asking
me to do.
If you don't want to say it out loud, I will. You're asking me to lie and cheat this.
Right.
No,
No,
I
it's
cannot
not
do
doing
this.
that, right? So you got that kind of request, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the request of like, hey, can you just give him 2 pages, or can you not give him less homework because we don't want to stress him out too much.
I guess my question there is, and I'm not expecting y'all to know, I'm just trying to wrap my brain around their mindset that you want your child advanced, you want to skip over the basics to that basic foundation in order for them to do advanced work, but you also don't want them to do work consistently to get there. How do we get here without the parents doing their part?
Made that make sense.
That's what I feel like we run into a lot too. But like that's one of the delusional requests, I guess you could say, as a whole, is hey, get my kid where they need to be without expecting anything from us at all.
Don't do anything. We don't want
without
to do
expecting
anything.
anything from at home.
We don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
And it goes back to because they would prefer you just tutor my child on what it is that they missing, and that's not advanced. That doesn't get you to advanced learning.
But then the question is, I always had this question: how do you tutor a pre-K or kindergarten kid? They're blank slate. Like, how do you?
There's nothing to tutor. Right?
There's nothing to tutor.
No, that's just teaching.
Right. They're learning the basics. So when it's kids like in elementary, we're getting a tutor. I'm like, what do you need a tutor for? Now in high school, I give you that because you need to pass trigonometry.
Yeah.
We don't.
Well, you know exactly what it is. And
Right.
in pre-K, there's not subjects like that. It's what are your shapes? What are your colors?
Right.
What are the first 5 numbers?
Right. Here, can you identify?
He's 7, y'all. Stop it.
Right. The word monkey with the picture monkey. That's what we do. Like that's to help build. We have a plan to get you where they need to be. Tutoring is just helping you with what you're going through right now. So I don't think elementary school should be with tutors. But I have people come in and talk about they want to get one-on-one tutors in elementary school. Like, that makes no sense.
None whatsoever.
Yeah. So, I had something else too I wanted to say, but I can't remember what it was.
I'll say I had one delusional request. It wasn't one of mine, but a friend of mine had this, and I think we talked about it a little bit. Having a parent send in their child with a toothbrush. I'm like, hey, so I can't get them to brush their teeth. I need you to do that for me. They didn't. Not Johnny,
here. Not
little John. Yeah, no, not here. No, that's what I was saying. It wasn't us. It was a friend of mine who also just in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dealt with that, and she was like, not. And she didn't even process it at first. She was thinking it's like, oh, after he has a snack or something. No, they mean we cannot make our son brush his teeth in the morning before he goes to school. So I need you to enforce that.
What is their job as a parent?
Thank you. And that's what we run into everywhere. Here, there, anywhere.
Yeah, because they really do look at us like we're supposed to be doing everything for them.
So I used to teach, right?
We're supposed to enforce.
And I think that a lot of parents just have this misconception of what school is, what anything academic related is. They think it's almost like daycare.
Yes.
When I drop my child, it's your responsibility at this point, and I don't have to do anything extra.
And they don't want to.
And I don't want to do anything extra because that's what I bring them to school for 8 hours a day, and that's why I'm bringing them to Kumon so you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the other side of it, like the parents need training themselves.
They do. But we had a couple episodes where we talked about Mr. Gorbachev there. It's the same thing. The parent talking about they want an extra parent in the household to help with stuff.
Yeah, they literally said it.
You just fix what's going on between you and your husband.
Right. Exactly.
Somebody reduce the schedule or something to make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yep. But no, at that point, and that's a great way to put it, like, you have to resolve your stuff, right? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, it's like, okay, so you want an extra set of hands, or like you drop them off at school, you drop them off with us, and you think, hey, like this is your, make sure they eat, make sure they brush their teeth. Like that's the audacity on that.
They drop them off and that's it, basically.
Yeah. Just kick them out the door. And we even see that sometimes where it's like, man, they didn't even park. They just kicked them out.
The curb, get out.
Get out.
Oh, you're lucky if they pull to the curb. Like,
right. In the middle of the street. So
what scares me about all of this is because this is our next generation of everything.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's terrifying.
These kids don't want nothing that's going to challenge them.
Nothing hard.
They don't want to do anything hard. Like, it's scary.
Oh no,
He's
it is.
truthfully scared.
And that's for example, that's why I like student with an A. That's why I try to celebrate anytime I see those victories because I'm like, oh, thank God.
Right.
Because
somebody.
somebody.
Yeah.
And that's like I'll get mad with like certain kids when they're not doing their work and repeating over and over because I'm like, man, come on, like we need some
You don't
victories.
get this yet. Right.
I need to leave the future in someone's hands, like safely. Like, come on, y'all. Come on.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is kind of terrifying. Then you got these two go together too. It's like the choo choo girl there. Yeah. So we had a request. So I usually buy my staff for the birthdays crumble cookie, right?
Okay.
So one day we bought them crumble cookie in here, and I get an email from mom saying, "You didn't share the cookies with my child." I'm just like,
You didn't feed my child.
I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, she does. What was the other thing though? She said you didn't feed her, and
Well, she complained that she doesn't like showing up here.
right.
We're the people that give her work, though. What did you expect?
And it's loud, even though she's one of the loudest ones in here, right? So like request again, it goes back to what you said. Parents don't understand what this is. Guys, what are they even paying for? I'm not here to fake. It's not daycare. I'm not feeding your kid. I'm not doing that. Like too much allergies, too much all that. I'm not. You're not about to sue me.
That's what I feel like. Yeah.
Like because I should be feeding your kid, and then a lot of these kids come in here and always be asking for food. I'm like, you should put food in your store. I'm like, no,
that's insane.
You're not choking on me. Like, it's not happening today,
And
right?
that's not what they're here for.
Correct.
Right? These kids are here maximum an hour.
Right.
You're not gonna die of starvation in an hour. I promise.
You don't die of thirst either.
Or
you
thirst. You got water out there. That's about all I can offer you.
Right.
But even that, just like as a parent, you know your child. You on the way your child need to focus and need to study. You already should have had a snack in the car
Before they
got here, so that they can do their 30 minutes to an hour. I don't understand, but I'm a firm believer that everybody shouldn't have kids.
I believe that. I totally believe that. And we
Because
see that here. We see that here. Like you have this child, you put him in here. What was your expectation? Like you have to do something.
Yeah.
Anything, please.
But I feel like that's where you come to like the unprepared part where parents I feel like a lot of them, hey, my kid's behind. Why is your kid behind? I can't get Tommy to do the homework. And it's like, ma'am, I'm gonna see Tommy twice a week. You know what those other 5 days I'm giving him? Homework.
And guess who's not gonna be able to do it?
And
Get him to do it?
Right.
Us.
Yeah.
We're not there with you.
Right. I'm not there to parent. Like I don't know that.
Can we talk about the time we can't take anything away from the kids? We can't threaten the kids. We can't be like, okay, you don't do your homework. You can't go to little Johnny's birthday party.
No.
We can't do none of that.
No.
They're for an hour. And surprisingly enough, we get something out of them within the hour. But after that, our job's done.
Well, it's like one of those things I feel like parents, and maybe a lot of people don't see this. We see them twice a week for an hour if they do 2 subjects. So that means maximum we should be seeing you 2 hours a week.
Right.
There's 24 hours in a day.
Right.
So at this point, we can be and like we do our best to make sure we're like good role models. We come in here, we're figures to look to. But at the same time, I can't enforce any of this. Even if I tell them, hey, you don't do your homework, like it's going to be an issue, I can't follow up on that.
No.
Just slide out from under his bed like the boogeyman and be like, do your packet. Like, no, I can't do that. So I can be as responsible, as fun, as friendly, and as like authoritative as you want.
Give them the option to get paid for their homework.
Yeah, get paid for the homework and get toys.
Right.
Like, we can do all sorts of stuff.
My thing is these parents are spending their money every single month.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't in question if you do your work or not. You do your work. I'm paying for this every single month. You need to make it happen.
And that's what's baffling too.
Different generations, because I know my mom would not let me get away with that.
Oh,
She's
no.
like, I'm paying for it. You're doing it. And we're going to sit. And it goes back to what you said, fix the stuff between you and your husband. We and Jesse talk about this all the time. I would stop watching the game. I'll come sit with you at the kitchen table while you do your work. You doing your work is more important to me than anything else.
But like I've said, like I read books. I will sit there and crack open a novel at the kitchen table with you.
Right.
While you do cool, I'll read a few chapters. Right. I don't care.
You know what? I'll doom scroll on my phone while you sit right here and do your homework. I'm gonna doom scroll anyway. Let's just do this together. You do your work. I'm gonna doom scroll. We get an hour. The quicker you get done, the quicker you get to go do what you want to go do.
Exactly.
It's the parents' priorities.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Their priorities are not in the right place. Hence why I need an extra set of hands instead of me and my husband working.
Figuring it out.
Yeah.
Right. Like
I couldn't do that.
Make sure that they do their work.
Right. Instead of the other way around.
They at home with me and they live with me, but I need you to do it. Right. Their priorities are in the wrong place. So it's like, well, mom, dad, what are you gonna do? What's your part?
What's your part? Well, we paid. Yeah, I mean,
it's only a part of it.
You also pay for a whole bunch of other stuff that you don't use or don't want.
Exactly.
This is your kid's education. You think you put a little more priority into it. So.
Oh no, definitely.
What was it? What's the last one? I think we got one more in there, right?
So we already went over these parents in denial. So parent requests. Do you have any other ridiculous parent requests?
Nah, that's all I got. We got some funny ones.
All right. Now, what about? All right. So let's go back to touching on the disabilities, or not even disabilities, but the lack of ability these parents lie about. Like, for example, coming in and talking about my kid can multiply up to 50.
That's
what you want to remember?
No. That's what Choo Choo mom said too. That's another thing. She's like, "Why are you doing this? She could multiply up to 1,000 or add up to 1,000 and all this stuff." I'm just like,
And even so, when is she gonna use numbers that big?
right. Well, she's not showing up with the work she giving her.
I was about to say she can't go that big if she can't do these basics.
No.
Right.
And
so it's like, what are we doing?
And that was hilarious because last time I saw her mom, she's like, "Hey, so I know she's not done, but we got to get going. She has piano recital." I'm like, "All right, that's we hear that all the time. That's just precious." But then at the same time, it's great because I kind of maybe not. I don't want to say I kind of did the "I told you so," but I let her know. I'm like, "I understand, ma'am. Like, if you want, you can take her now." I said she's got 2 pages of work left, and she's doing basic addition. And instead of doing the work, she's drawing lines and grouping the problems and saying "fact family" over and over. Like I say, 4 plus 5, 4 plus 7, they all have 4s. Those are fact families. And I'm like, I don't.
Oh my God! Just do
this
4
whole
plus
packet
5.
is plus 4s and 5s. Please just these
do
are all
work.
fact
Do the
families.
work.
And go home.
And I guess my thing is, if you know, one of the things that drives me nuts that I've heard parents say is that they're bored with the work.
Right. I heard you say this.
But I learned recently from another instructor that said it's not truthfully that they're bored with the work. That's probably the lie or complaint that they use when it starts to get difficult.
Mm-hmm. They don't want to admit it. They can't.
Because they have to think. But I'm just going to tell mom or dad to get out of this, that this is just too easy for me. And then they'll vouch for me. And then I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But for me, I'm just like, if it's too easy for you, then why is it taking you so long?
Mm-hmm.
Just get it done.
Get it done.
If
go
it's
home.
that easy, you ought to be able to knock this out with no issue. And this should not be a concern. This is not up for discussion if it's that easy.
We tell them all the time, get done. I turn the TV on. You just sit out there and watch TV. Just get done fast. If you don't want to go home, like just sit out there, like get it done without thinking about it. But I do like the do multiplication up to 50.
Oh yeah, it's absurd
because of your where you're from.
Yeah,
you're more astute. Her ethnicity drove her closer to being for her kid to be able to do up to 150, but he got to be. Clearly that genetic makeup can do multiplication up to 50.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's what the lady told us. But the same kid gets stung by a bee and he's home crying. That's why he didn't do his work. It's a middle school kid too. He got stung by a bee and he's upset. And what did you say? What was it? Yeah.
Oh, he gets discouraged by repeating stuff.
Says,
hey, he's having trouble. I'm like, cool, well, let me take it back a couple lessons. I'll work on him one-on-one with it. And then he should definitely grasp that well enough that the new thing won't stump him anymore. Oh, but we can't do that. He gets discouraged. I'm like, isn't it also discouraging to get the same thing wrong over and over?
Exactly.
I think you'd rather cover the basics real quick and take 2-3 days tops.
And be done with it, right?
Yeah, just to completely get ahead and not have to look at this no more.
These parents are off the chain.
Oh, no, they're a trip.
Off the chain. But yeah, now they're entertaining. I said last time we get a lot of jokes, and I go home with different stories every day, and that's why we want to do this podcast, right? We got enough stories to tell for days about these parents.
Like I'm passionate about educating the kids, but I'm also like very entertained by the parents on the other end, though. So it's like the best of both worlds sometimes.
And then the stories the kids tell us about what's going on at home. That's a whole different.
Oh yeah, that'll be another podcast.
That'll be a whole different episode. Was there anything else?
That was everything I was going to touch base on.
So, one moment you're proud of this week. Well, besides, I guess you got that one.
I got that one. No, here. You go with the moment you're proud of. I'll try to find another one.
No, that one's good. Go ahead with that one. So I got to think about it.
So having a student that's in 2nd grade now conquering division. I say conquering. I use that term very boldly because we're not just talking about a little 8 divided by 2. We're talking remainders. We're talking double-digit numbers, and
and that was her first time doing it. Can you remember when she did just the one without?
Just solid, just even division. It was
crying.
And
then the next class, she just that only took me 17 minutes. Like, what just happened?
Wow.
Yeah.
And then that was the first time she had to do it with remainders. So I was thinking in my head, like, all right, this probably a little rough. We'll have to try it again in a couple of days when she comes back. No, first time doing it, and she crushed it. And I'm like, okay. This is a force to be reckoned with right here.
I'm trying to think of a good one. It'd be the T kid, because yesterday I'm sitting with him and he really does talk himself out of. Oh yeah, no,
100%.
He talked himself out of, and I sat with him. He did on the iPad, and he understood. I'm like, sir, whatever you pick, whatever factor you pick, X or Y, it has to equal 0 when you eliminate it.
Yeah.
Like it has to equal 0. That's why he's like, why is there multiplication here? Because if you do plus plus plus, the number's going up. So you got to change one to the other sign so it equals 0. And he got it. He was flying through it yesterday, right, with no issues, right? But that's the only one I can think of right now as far as the proudest moment. I don't know.
Well, I feel like that's one that we're very invested in because he's been with us for a long time, and we've seen where he started, where he's at now, and we know his potential.
Right.
And we also know we're all human.
Where he's coming
we know
from
what his
too.
downfalls too.
Right. And where he's coming from too. So what is your proudest moment since you've been doing this? First thing
I
jumps
was
in.
going to give y'all mine for the week.
Oh, no, give it for the week too. I know if you drum one up this week.
Yeah,
no, go ahead.
This is my first time ever being a guest on a podcast, and it has made my day.
So there we go.
You're welcome.
I would love to be on again.
Come on back.
Thanks for coming and joining us.
Yes, this week. Yes, I'm being with y'all.
All right. All right. So do the YouTube stuff, of course. Like and subscribe.
Check out our Instagram page. Check out the Instagram pages.
Instagram page. Disagree with us, agree with us. We don't really care. Just comment. But that's a wrap for this episode.
Yep. Thanks for listening.
All right. Have a good one. Bye.